Welcome back to File Under Fire, a wrestling review podcast. My name is Brady. I am your host, joined by Dom
Hi.
and the Beatles. Yeah, no, we don't.
Hey,
I just wanted to make that Space Ghost joke. R.I.P. Space Ghost.
That's real.
I was like,
Watch Harvey Birdman.
yeah, before the pod started, we were talking about Space Ghost, and Avi sent the clip of Space Ghost introducing Pavement as the Beatles. And I was like, yeah, I think I need
eh,
to introduce Ob as the Beatles.
I'll take it.
Yeah,
That
you.
I'd
work.
rather be the Stones, but I'll take it.
Hey,
Hell, I'd rather be Pavement.
that's also true. I'm much more of a Stones guy than a Beatles guy by a long shot. But this week we did decide a theme, and it is hatred. We didn't really define it beyond that. We kind of just said hate, and that's it. It could
Yeah.
be hate in storyline, just a really hatefully wrestled match, I guess is the way to say that. Or it could be, just some, I don't know. I guess none of us did something we hate. That was the one we didn't do. I guess we kind of missed the boat on that one.
Oh, it brought some shit we hated. I don't
Yeah,
even. One day, one of us is gonna bring a match that is just
a,
not
a
good
real
and we don't like.
stinker. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna happen at some point.
I want to bring a stinker, but like, it's more fun to bring
Well,
the fun stuff. Okay. Listen, we don't. I don't
we'll
think
save
my
it.
I don't think my match is a stinker. All right.
I
Uh,
think. I think. Well, you can actually. I'll save my thoughts when we get there because we gotta save the runtime.
yeah, I wrote 2 whole pages of notes for that fucking match. And it's just like, yeah, it's a long one. Um, but yeah, we didn't really define it. It's just kind of a hate match. And what better way to start a hate-based week than a apuestas match? Um, this match is Negro Casas versus La Fiera from CMLL 10-1-93. This is Dom's pick of the week.
It's
Um,
so good. It's
it
very
is
good.
it is very good. It is kind of just that like really good early 90s lucha goodness. Not a ton of not a ton of dives, not a ton of flips like you like a lot of people associate with lucha, but a lot of really good wrestling. Um
Yeah. Brady did a little bit of research, so I thank him because I did not do jack shit. I just watched a cool match, and
I just wanted
Lafiera
to
has been in a lot of hair matches. Not a winner. He's
no.
back and forth. Nega Casas, big winner, big winner.
So yeah, so I did do a little bit of research on Lucha Wiki just because I was like kind of curious because one of the first things I noticed here was that Nico Casas looks very young. His forehead does not look scarred. And
Mm-hmm.
so initially my first thought was how deep into Negro Casas' career is this match? Because the link we watched, if I remember correctly, a doesn't have a date attached to it. So like I also had to figure out what the date was for this match.
Mm-hmm.
And up to this point, so including this match, spoiler alert, Negro Casas was in a total of 8 Apuestas matches, and he had only lost 2 of them. The first one, sometime in I guess 1980, roughly, according to Lucha Wiki, the date isn't clear, where he lost to Eddie Guerrero, and then the second time he lost to El Hijo del Santo in 1987. One of the, many times he would lose his hair to Santito. Um,
Which you could talk so much about the Casas and Santito. What do you call it? The rivalry. I'm forgetting words lately. Yeah, the rivalry.
yeah. Uh,
But Negro Casas just has a lot of good shit under his belt, and this is one of those matches.
Yeah, he's one of the best wrestlers ever. I've been thinking a lot lately about the greatest wrestler ever deal and trying to come
Hmm.
up with a list, and
Hmm.
he keeps coming up pretty high no matter how I run it. Of course,
I mean,
La Fiera is
he's
is
there
an
too.
all timer too, man. He's got some great matches with Babyface, Jerry Estrada, El Dandy. I'm not surprised that he's lost most of his apuestas because he's a technico in this match, but for most of his career, he's like the quintessential scumbag, and people really wanted to see him lose.
And
And
Yeah,
even though he's the technico in this match, the Arena Mexico is
I was gonna
cheered for
say
Cass.
I didn't even realize that he was a Technico. This felt like a
yeah,
Rudo versus Rudo because the
Yeah,
people were cheering for
he had
Casas.
yeah, there's kind
yeah
of a
he had
bit
just
both.
turned technico in the summer of this year,
So
I think.
probably just so he could face Negro Casas, I assume.
Probably
Probably
that
how
would
it
be.
Yeah,
worked.
although Cassis was a Rudo, but they were teasing some face stuff here, and eventually he will turn. But like I said, I think Dave wrote that Cassis in Arena Mexico is like Flair in the Carolinas. It doesn't matter. He's going to be cheered.
Yeah, and I
That's
think you
fair
kind of get
enough.
that vibe here too, where it's like, I mean, he is, roughly probably about, uh, I don't know, well, I don't remember when exactly Negro Casas debuted. I'd
Like
have to look.
1980.
Yeah, so like or 13 years in. So it's not like he's this newcomer or not deserving of the spot. I mean, he has put in some reasonable time, and the fact that
Boy,
he's
he's already had some of the best matches ever
yeah,
with El Hijo del
exactly.
Santo,
Yeah.
and a wide variety of other people as well. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
there's a reason they love him. There's a reason when Santo turns Rudo that I mean it wouldn't work with anybody else. Hell, it barely works with Cassis, but
I mean, and some of the guys that Negro Casas like loses or wrestles in Apuestas matches are like, some all-timer guys. Um, like, like you said, Santito, he wrestles Perro Aguayo Jr. He
that's
does
an
he,
awesome match,
uh,
awesome brawl.
yeah, he is kind of an all-timer guy, and he's still going, still rocking. Actually,
He can work like any style. He's so versatile. It's
Hell, he works like
ridiculous.
Koki Kitahara here. He works like this. He thought he was in war.
Bro,
He's got the kick pads. He's shoot kicking
he shoot
Fiera in
kick
the
him in the
face.
face, bro. Yeah, this is a nasty. So yeah, this match is bloody, very bloody. It's awesome.
Yeah, and like I think the version we watched, like the blood isn't exactly apparent. At least it wasn't for me. Like the way that the cameras are and the lighting, like
I,
it's
I
not.
was seeing some drippage on the floor, and I was like,
Yeah, for sure, but like the face is like it's not always the easiest thing to tell when exactly they get bloody, as especially if you compare it to the other two matches, which also feature blood, one more prominently than the other, and throughout the match, I should say. And yeah, like this is a match where like it is a war for each fall. Obviously, for I think 90% of the people that listen to this podcast are understanding of how Lucha works, but this is a 2 out of 3 falls match, and every single fall is a war. Um, these guys are like fighting for every single piece they can get.
Yeah,
Casas.
it's worked really tight, and it's really compact too, uh, which I love about it. But like as you said, there each fall is like a separate little battle, and there's no cheap finishes. All the
Mm-mm.
falls end
Yeah,
with a decisive maneuver.
it's not like this is like a a match where like you sometimes you see especially around like the 2000s era where a lot of like the first and second falls are just like they wrestle around for a
Very
bit.
quick.
Yeah,
Hmm.
wrestle around for a bit. Guy hits his finish, and then repeat process for the other side, and then you get to the third fall, and that's when they really work the match. This is not that. They're both fighting for that edge throughout each singular fall. And it's like it immediately starts with Casas trying to basically like neutralize him. He goes straight at him. He just starts banging his head off of a bunch of things, like because he throws him into just about everything you can at ringside. Uh,
Yeah, Lafayette launches him like a fucking ragdoll at one point. It's dope.
yeah, they launch each other. Yeah, oh, are you
Uh-huh.
talking about when he lawn darts him into the?
Yeah, like head
When he
first,
posts
right into the
them,
right into the
Yeah,
chairs. It's crazy.
yeah, and like, dude, the chairs move, but not like enough. You know what I
I
mean?
think they break. The one he
Well,
hits, because he hits it flush.
He hits that bitch
probably.
flush. Yeah, I would not be surprised if it just snapped.
Yeah.
I'm surprised Lafayette didn't start shooting, bro, because Casas hits some. He hits. I was thinking, oh, just nice shots to the chest. That's always nice and snug. And then he goes for like the face, and he just takes it. And it's like, okay, wow, that's
He
dope. This
gives
is a
it
great
back
match.
though. I mean, both of these guys
Yo,
are.
he gives it back. They fuck each other up. They
Yeah,
punch
this
each
match
other.
is it's simple, it's direct, it's violent. Uh, it's
It's
I've heard it described as a great starter lucha match, and I
I could
think it
see that.
is.
Yeah. Like if granted, I'm obviously like all three of us are into lucha, but like if this was like my introduction into it, I would be like, okay, now I need to see more. Like and then I'd maybe get depressed if like I watched, like I said, some of those later mano a manos where it's just like I said, quick two and then a long third, and I'm like, oh, this is not near as fun as that La Fiera Negro Casas match, man. I need more of that.
I saw JR at Wrestling Bubble on Twitter once described this match as like taking a sip of Coca-Cola while holding your high school crush's hand. And I think that's
that
a
fucking
beautiful
rules.
description of what this is.
Is
Mhm.
that
It's
like
it's just perfect.
that's like a classic thought in my head, right? Like thinking that description makes me think I'm in like Happy Days. You know what I mean? Like the Fonz is about to walk in and just say something stupid. Not the wrestling one, obviously. He would also say something stupid though.
Maybe just blow a whistle.
Yeah. Hey, I
Oh, I
like
was
the
like, there's a
whistle.
wrestling Fonz. Yeah, Bill Alfonso, that fucking motherfucker.
Hey, he was in a clip Albie posted on Twitter this week. Um, he I
He's just so loud.
always all time. Um, but yeah, so and I know Dom, you were probably hooting and hollering because this first fall ends with a German suplex.
Yeah.
I was
Yes.
like,
I
dude,
was like, oh wow, because
I,
they don't really be doing that in Lucha often.
I
But
saw the
it's good.
suplex and I immediately went, oh, I know why Dom picked it.
He
Fucking
also
awesome.
Lapiera also throws like the Kawada spin kick
Yeah, he
He's
occasionally.
does.
throwing spin kicks. He
Yeah,
does his own version of Kawada kicks, which aren't to the head, but like it looks snug. It looks like he glances in.
Yeah, there like a lot of the strikes in this whole match, not even just like strictly to the first fall, are very like it does kind of start to feel very like all Japan esque. There's a pair of headbutts, I think in this first fall, or maybe it's just a one headbutt from Casas. That
I think he hits a couple.
yeah,
They're all pretty nasty.
Yeah,
um, yeah, like that, like what headbutts are. I think headbutt and I think like Japanese indie scumbag wrestling or even some of the shoot style stuff. I do not think lucha.
It
And
depends on the style of headbutts, because if it's one of those headbutts where they grab the hair and just hit their hands, I think a Kento Miyahara.
yeah, for sure. Um,
Deep cut.
dude, I saw that German suplex gets the hits the bridge, gets the pin, and I'm like, all right, hell yeah. like now, that like if everything hadn't got you into it by that point, I like what
It's
else?
probably that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
what?
interesting that the way that first fall goes though, because La Fiera is the Technico, but he does end up dominating like
Like
the
a
back
heel
portion
feud.
of that first fall and into the second fall, like the Rudo typically will in a 2 out of
Yes.
3 falls
Hmm.
match.
Yeah,
That's why I naturally
But it's
doing this.
not
I
as
was like, "Is this Rudo versus Rudo?"
yeah,
and
that
even Technico La Fiera
has his
yeah.
Rudo tendencies. I mean, yeah, I mean if you've
Yeah,
been
he throws his
wrestling,
ass into the fucking apron face first. That's dope.
yeah, if you've been wrestling as a Rudo for most of your career, and then it's like, oh, now you gotta be a technical. You're like, okay, but like, can I just do this?
Let me
Um,
bite at his head wound. Please let me bite at his head wound. I
dude,
gotta bite at his head wound.
he at one point, so like right after the end of the first fall, uh, Fiera like hits some different strikes, and he drapes Casas like over like off of the ring apron to the outside, and then gets out and just like punts him in the face. Like that's the best way I can describe it. Is like it's like a punt kick,
They do a lot of soccer kicks and punt kicks. It's fucking nasty and
dude.
awesome.
And like this is around the point where I like started to realize I was like, I think Casas might be bleeding. I was like, I was like, I think he's bleeding now. Like, and yeah, dude, the whole second fall is like full of like more and more like just mean shots. Uh, Casas goes for another headbutt on Lafayette, and like it kind of hurts Casas more than I think he expected. And so Fiera like realizes this and just hits another headbutt to like get Casas back down and like and basically stop his like momentum, because he was starting to build a little momentum to that point. Like as the second fall kind of goes on, like he's building more and more momentum as it goes. Um and yeah, so Cassis gets on top, and he the way he wins the second fall is, I called it a spine buster. I don't know any other way to describe it, but he basically hits like a spine buster,
When he
and
lifts him
then
up in the air and gets him down, and then he does
yeah,
like a
and then
sharpshooter. Yeah.
grabs him, gets the sharpshooter in, and I'm like, okay, like this is like now I'm if I wasn't already like I'm like waving the shirt above the head, like this rocks, this is amazing.
There's
Uh,
a guys rock match.
yeah, it's really a big dude's rock at all times, and like they get into this final fall, and like Casas obviously like coming out of the winning the second fall, he's already like on top, but like that doesn't stop Lafayette from fighting. He kind of like he starts trying to dodge stuff, trying to get out of the way of a lot of like drop kicks, stuff like that. One thing I do want to point out, Casas like gets I guess like what you would, I think it's an STF um on Lafayette at one point, and he like uses his finger and is like hooking.
Yeah, he's fish
Oh yeah,
hooking him.
he
Yeah,
pushed
La
Yeah,
Fiera sells it
fucker.
so good
dude,
too.
he's like he mouth just like gaping open, just like, oh, dude, so perfect. Um, like and then he gets out, like he gets basically gets is able to like turn his body around so he can get the fish hook out of his mouth,
He punches him.
and just socks Casas so hard, just like hits the shit out of him, and then Casas stands up and just like throws like a like some stiff ass kicks right back to him. And
Yeah,
I'm
like
like,
dead in his face. It is crazy.
dude. And then he like pins him and it's a 2 count, and I'm like, oh my god, let's go. That little
It's a
like
great second fall.
yeah, like that little bit of fun right there was so cool. Um, what I'm kind of going through my notes here, if there's seeing if there's anything.
Well, then eventually in the third fall, they get to the part where they're going for like kill shots. They're trying to hit
Yeah.
their aerial moves,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I love the way this whole match is perfectly structured. It's so tight. It's perfectly paced. I think I already said it's compact, but it's compact. Everything is really impactful. But at one point, when La Fiera he gets him down and he goes to lift him off the mat by his hair, and
Mm-hmm.
Cassis is just like dead weight. And so you see him make the decision to go to the top, which is a touch that I just really loved. It doesn't feel like they're on rails and they're just going through sequences. That just gives it that little piece of like he is reacting to what is happening in the match. And but when he goes to the top, it's a bit of rope a dope because there's no water in the pool and he eats it, and then Cassis jumps up like smug as shit,
Yeah.
like so happy.
Kasaw's a little asshole in this match. It's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, he is. Like,
and then he
uh,
hits his big plancha for the one,
the
two, three.
the thing, like, I kind of talked to you guys a little bit before we started recording. Like, the thing I noticed obviously was like, Casas is like, this is like baby Casas almost, even though he's 13 years in. Like, he's still kind of a baby in what he would eventually grow to be. And like you guys said, I mean, he's had some of the greatest matches ever already, and will continue to have some of the greatest matches ever. And like I can't even. How many times does he you know he loses his hair again after this to Santito. Then he like around he starts teaming with Santito. Um, so many great things. He like you said, he has that match with Perro Aguayo Jr.
He's
Yeah,
someone that, like, yeah, like his wrestling longevity and like lifespan very long. He has good matches all the way like up to like the 2000s against like Ultimo Guerrero, Rey Bucanero. He's awesome.
yeah. He loses his hair to like his Apuestas record is a who's who
He
of
has a crazy Apuestas against Rush in 2014. That's
yeah.
fucking awesome.
Dude, I was looking at that right now and I'm like, oh,
Oh, it's
that
good,
that, that would
man.
be
It's
sick
really
actually.
good.
That sounds like
Yeah.
something I'm into. Yeah, he has that one with Rush, and then he beats Super Parka, and then loses to Volador Jr. Beats
Probably
Sam
both
Adonis,
awesome matches. Holy cow.
then he loses to Ultimo Guerrero, and then beats Scorpio Jr. That match was last year, which is
I'll take your
kind of
word for it
what that it was
that it
that it,
happened.
oh well yeah. I mean I'm just going off of Lucha Wiki, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Cassis
I'm
is
not.
unfortunately in AAA hell.
He's in triple hell, yeah.
I
Um,
will not be watching.
but yeah, so the finish of this uh comes like you were saying, with the you know Casas finally gets to the top after they both miss what I assume were both meant to be splashes. Casas finally gets to the top, gets gets the frog splash, crossbody, whatever you want to call it. Um,
I believe it's a plancha.
plancha, yeah. And gets the win, gets the third fall and the hair.
And it's
Um,
so funny how it plays out because they're both such dickheads. They're so thrilled with each other. They love each other because of the level of violence they've just inflicted upon each other. They're like
yeah,
back slapping.
Yeah,
Like
Fiera comes
horse
over and
assing him
high
out.
fives him.
Yeah.
He high fives him after he just lost the match and his hair, which is so fucking funny, man.
But he won his respect.
That's some
Exactly.
real shit.
Dude, he like I said, this makes him 6-2 in Apuestas up to this point in his career. I don't really have the time right now to count of how many he's won and lost, and Lucha Wiki doesn't give me that math quickly.
You could probably
Um,
watch through all of those and just be satisfied. It's probably all awesome.
yeah, maybe except that 2024 one. I don't know if it's
Yeah,
rocking in
yeah, fuck
2024.
that. Nope.
It's Negro Casas, Scorpio Jr.,
Nope.
Alan Stone, and
Nope.
Intocable.
Nope. Yeah, nope. I was already not watching it 3 names before.
Yeah, that's real. It's 2024 Negro Casas. Uh,
He's like 9,500 years old. He's got to go to hell, maybe. I
uh,
love him.
well, he was born in 1960, so that means he's 65 this year. He's retirement age.
Jesus.
Yeah. Don't do the math on his wedding anniversary.
Yeah, I knew that was coming up. He might be in hell.
Hey, Lucha Wiki does not list anything about his wedding.
Good.
Yeah,
So
do not even look into it.
so although I guess it does have his wife listed here as a
No,
part of his family.
no,
Um it
no.
hey, I'm not doing the math, but you know. Uh yeah, he also by the way, he debuted in 1979.
Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, he's been wrestling
Throughout Ob's whole life.
Hey, fuck you, buddy.
All
hey,
right, my fault.
he well, hold on. Let's do some quick math here. We're going this
It
is
is true though.
I mean, yeah, that is
It
true.
is true.
We're going to do some live math on pod here.
Oh no, this didn't
2025
go well last week.
2025 minus 1979. Uh I was going to try and say like has Nick
25 minus 1979.
Yeah, that's how you figure out how long he's been wrestling.
That's how you get a negative number, though.
I said 2025.
Nah, I said 25. You did not say 20.
I swear to God. Anyway, okay, regardless,
It's 46 years.
it's 46 years. I was going to try and make a comment to say that
Got to do all the math around here.
I was going to try and make a comment that Negro Casas has been wrestling longer than all of us have been alive combined, but that would not be true. Um,
That would not be true.
he's not much farther ahead than me and Dom's lifespan together.
Combined.
Yeah. Um, but I mean, hey, he's still one of the goats.
I'm 3 years old.
Great match. That would help actually if you were 3 years old. Give me a little goo goo gaga.
I'm not doing that shit.
Watching Lucha on his iPad.
I'm an iPad baby with my CMLL.
Hey,
Straight up.
we're all iPad babies nowadays.
People shit on iPad babies. Try out the lifestyle. It's mad fun.
Well, that's how you end up with WWE
Ah, you're right.
modern
Fuck.
production.
My
Good luck.
fault, guys. Don't do that.
Good luck, Avi. You're the only one of us three that's raising a kid in the big 2025. So you're the one who's gonna have to deal with those repercussions one day.
He ain't got no damn iPad.
he, he also does not give a shit about wrestling.
No, he doesn't. Thank God.
Thank God. That's awesome, actually.
He
Moving.
likes trucks.
Hell yeah. Moving on to our next match here. This is kind of like a truck in the way it hits you and kind of runs you over for way too long. Uh,
Dude, you should. Oh, I tried to
oh,
like get some context
oh
and
yeah.
refresh myself on the
Oh,
whole feud.
all right. So hold on. Let me introduce
I
the
did
match
not do
first.
that.
So my pick for the week is Kevin Steen versus El Generico from Ring of Honor, Final Battle 2010. The date is 12/18/2010. This is the Fight Without Honor match. This is what it was technically supposed to be the feud ender, even though it doesn't end the feud. They, after the stipulation is if Steen loses, he leaves the company. If El Generico if El Generico loses, he loses his mask. Now, obviously, this is maybe one of the most known independent wrestling storylines of the entire 2000s. I think that's a safe bet to make.
Hmm.
I'd
Um,
say it's like this and Summer of Punk, probably.
yeah, I'd probably say
Sure,
top
forgetting
three are
something.
this Summer of Punk and then Danielson and McGinnis.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Damn, you should have brought one of those, dude.
dude, I thought
Fuck.
I'm sorry, man. I I was going to bring a different ROH match. I was almost going to bring the CM Punk versus Raven dog collar match, which I probably would have enjoyed significantly more than this.
Because
Um,
Raven's awesome.
Raven is awesome.
Yes,
And Punk is awesome in that match.
correct.
Um, but then I made the mistake of watching the Elimination Chamber pay per view from this past Sunday, and I watched Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn, and my brain started firing on all cylinders, and I went, man, I fucking love these two dudes. I
Wouldn't catch
love
me dead watching that shit.
I
My
love
fault.
watching them kill each other. No, I understand. Listen, I only watch it with friends.
Hmm.
Uh, it's fun for us to watch together. I am
That's
never
fair.
once going out of my way to watch that on my own, though. That's for damn
I'm just
sure.
being miserable, but I get you. I understand.
Hey, I completely understand on shitting on the WWE. Fuck the WWE.
Yep,
Yeah. Sorry, had to get my own clip.
get it
Um,
in.
get our bits in.
Of
But
course.
this is probably my favorite actual feud of all time. Um, I like I said this in the beginning of my notes. These two, specifically Steen more than Generico, but these two were like formative figures in getting me into independent wrestling. And so there is that soft spot for me that probably drives a lot of why I wanted to even bring this match to the podcast.
Hmm.
Um,
Remember liking this.
yeah, and,
Oh
and
boy.
like I said it in my notes. I was like, now I said, now that is to say it doesn't have its fault, but nostalgia is a great looking glass when you just want to enjoy something. And
That is true.
I wrote that before I took my notes of the match. Um, so I did the same thing you did, kind of. Drop Mick Wrestling. Honestly, no faults to Drop Mick and all. But he has done like a compilation edit of the entire feud. I think it's like 2 hours long or something fucking
Yeah, I
crazy.
think I made it about 30 minutes.
Um, it's but it it chronologizes everything that happens in the whole feud, all the way from the match they lose, and Steen tells him he hates his fucking guts and kicks him in the dick, and then hits him with a steel chair, all the way up until the ladder war match that is ultimately what ends up being the end
Why
of.
did he do that? That's so fucking rude of him.
Yeah, it ultimately ends up
Well,
being
you
the
see, Dom, they were
end.
having a prolonged hug mid-ring, and
They
there's only
were.
Hmm.
one way that can end.
Dude, I will like I know it's not for me to know as a fan, but like in my like head canon, like Steen is just sitting there like whispering in his ear like, "Hey man, you ready to fucking do this shit? Like, you ready for me to fucking swing this shit on you? Like, sorry if
And
I
you know he
fucking
was like, yeah, because Steen looked like he smelled like shit.
Dude, I mean that's part of the story that they're
Yeah,
trying to
he even
tell.
makes. He's like, I'm fat. I got this shitty beard.
Yeah, the part of the story that they're trying to tell here is that like Steen is just like looking rough, trying to basically like keep this tag team going, keep it going, like keep the friendship going, keep the championship reign going, and then they lose to the Young Bucks, um, because the Young Bucks were over in 2010, and then that's like he's like all right, and like dude, it's kind of funny. It's so pro wrestling too, the way they set up that whole turn where he like gets in the ring and like gets the mic, thanks
Yeah,
fucking
all of this
everybody.
feels very WWE to me.
Yeah, you
And
said
including there's like the parts that I watched, you get monologues, you get backstage conversations with the camera observing.
oh yeah, like the Colt Cabana segment where Steen like rams his head into the
Oh my
door.
God, yeah. Also, we forgot to mention Colt Cabana is involved in this.
Dude, Colt Colt Cabana. So the it gets like Colt Cabana basically is the guy
He
who
kept me
comes
away
out.
from watching this feud entirely. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't want to fucking watch Colt Cabana.
Well, okay, so Colt Cabana comes out to be like the basically the guy who like stops Steen from like massacring El Generico,
Yeah. And
which
Generico has to have a mouthpiece. I think, though, that's part of what doesn't connect fully with this is that Generico is like, of course, Carino keeps using the R slur to refer to him,
oh
and
my
I
fucking
don't
god,
condone that, but I do see what he
Carino's not the only
means.
one.
Yeah, yeah, it gets thrown around with abandon, but
2010, man, they
I didn't
were.
watch this shit,
yeah,
thank God.
but he has to have a mouthpiece because he's
But the thing is like
mute.
Steen, he's not mute either. It's the bit is obviously like if you don't know who I would sure fucking hope you know who El Generico is. But if you don't know who El Generico is, like as a character, obviously, I think we all know it's fucking Sami Zayn. But like if you don't know him as a character, it's that he's a generic luchador. He's only speaks Spanish, and even the Spanish that he speaks fucking sucks. I mean, there's some of those PWG promos that he does where he just is like saying random Spanish words that he knows, which is like honestly, it's kind of funny, especially when he has like the right guy to riff with him. Like Paul London's great with him. Um, but like that's the bit is that like he can't speak, and so they give him Colt Cabana, who I kind of
You want to
understand.
dance with the funny man? That's when I turned it off.
I can kind of understand why Colt Cabana is here in like the grand scheme of him being like one of the few bastions left of like OG ROH.
Yeah, well, he's been at this point. He's been to WWE and been back, which is like a part of the feud.
Yeah, cause yeah, cause they mentioned in the like pre-feud or like in like one of the promos that like Steen didn't text Steen didn't text Colt Cabana after he got fired, but Generico did, which is also
Mhm.
funny because like if your whole point of giving Cabana to Generico was to have him be a mouthpiece, why can Generico just freely text Colt Cabana and he understands everything? Like there's a lot of weird like in and out of kayfabe stuff that doesn't make a lot of sense. But ultimately, you get to this fucking match, and this isn't the first singles match they have. This is, I think, the second singles match. They have like two tags, I think, with Cabana and Generico, and then Carino and Steen, and then you have a singles at I think Glory by Honor where Steen steals the mask of El Generico, which is kind of where the mask portion comes into this match. Um, and it is it is one of those matches where like standalone, I think it holds up better than if you sit there and watch an hour's worth of what all was the fucking story that goes along with it. All the
I
extra
don't know though because it's full of callbacks.
it is, but they do kind of explain it on commentary. Like
Yes, they do.
you don't
As
necessarily
as
need to.
mildly as you can possibly explain. So the commentary is atrocious.
Well, I made some notes here about the commentary at one
Oh,
point.
it's so bad.
Uh, I think it's Kevin Kelly. Like this is really late in the match. He goes, 3,092 days since Generico donned the mask. And I just wrote, how you know that? Like, how do you just know how many days he's been a masked wrestler? Did you like,
But they keep trying to say this stuff to make it feel like really epic, but it's so listless the way they're going through it. It's like, oh,
I wasn't listening.
dude? Honestly,
good
like,
call.
yeah, you probably could just turn off the audio and it may be better. Another
I
another.
wish I had at the beginning when they started chanting "Feud of the Year"
Oh
because
yeah,
it
Oh,
made me
I
roll
didn't
my
hear
eyes
that.
so hard I got a migraine.
I mean, this is a 2010 ROH crowd.
Very much. They're just there to go. Oh,
This is
Whoa!
about
Oh
as
shit!
like Grant. Listen, I understand this is a wrestling podcast. We are also fucking smarks to a
Uh-huh.
degree, but the 2010 ROH crowd is like the smarkiest smart marks you will ever find in your fucking life. That room probably smelled atrocious.
Not
Uh,
good for sure. I mean, they're packed into what? Is that the Hammerstein?
I didn't look at where this was at.
I don't know. This venue is very beautiful though. Ring of Honor always it looks and sounds very good.
Ring of Honor, for as much as we
it's
want to
the
shit,
Manhattan Center. That's the Manhattan Center.
So
yeah,
awesome.
for what we want to shit on Ring of Honor, they do a great job at making a place look good and also keeping some consistency with the way each show looks, despite them being in a different venue, which I think is always really good. It also feels, I don't know, it feels very wrong to me for us to be like this deep into like I consider like the iPay-per-view era of ROH and still have like the old block logo.
Yeah, it looks like the classic era
Yeah,
stuff.
it looks like it should be 2006, but it's 2010 and they're not like the DVDs aren't moving anymore, brother. Like we're firmly on iPay-per-view, you know? Um
Everyone got iPad now. They got iPad, iPod.
they do. That's true. People have computers that can run streams. They don't have to illegally download things off of LimeWire anymore.
You bit torrent that bitch.
Dom, did you ever download stuff illegally off of like LimeWire or like a
Nope.
random?
That
Yeah,
was that was super. Just not my age range. Whatever the fuck. You know what I mean?
Avi knows what I'm talking about when I talk about getting downloading a song and you put it into your iPod and then all of a sudden you hear I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
I remember
Um,
the Napster days when it was like everything was so mislabeled. It would say like "Enter Sandman" by Nirvana,
yeah, exactly. That's the
and it wouldn't be either one.
yeah. What a beautiful time period,
It would
honestly.
be a virus.
Getting into this match, we can listen. There are some crazy like they do for what it's worth. They do a lot of crazy ass spots in this match.
I this I know it's on my brain, but this reminded me a lot of like the most high level backyard match ever. There's a lot of contraptions and
Oh
doohickeys.
yeah, honestly, yeah. It does kind of give that vibe. Honestly, if it was in a backyard, this would probably be easier to set up than what a lot of the shit they do here. They have one ladder. That's it, which is also very backyard. I say they have one ladder because they only use this one fucking ladder for every single ladder spot they do in this match, and they do a good amount. And they bend this ladder, they fuck it up, they
Yeah, they
use
pull
it.
out the ladder, and the commentator goes, Reminiscent of Ladder Wars.
They said Ladder Wars at least 17 million times.
Which I listen, I understand because like obviously the first ladder war uh has Steen Erico in it, and like that's the I might please tell me I'm not misremembering it. That ladder war is then the one where they hang like Jimmy Jacobs hangs one of the Briscoes upside down and he's like
Oh, and he
getting
bleeds
eight.
all over his
Yeah,
white suit. Is that?
And people are chanting, boring!
yeah,
Boring! That's awesome. That
Jimmy
rules.
Jacobs and Jay Briscoe. Good
yeah,
wrestlers.
yeah, both
Hmm.
good
They should have
wrestlers.
been in this match.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I was
why
thinking
did
about
yeah, why did they
Briscoes.
not give El Generico like Jimmy Jacobs? Like why couldn't they give it like give him Jimmy Jacobs or like one of the cuz like what are the Briscoes doing at this point? Obviously like not I mean maybe they're wrestling for fucking the tag titles, but like what are the Briscoes doing?
I have
You know?
no idea what Briscoes are doing at this point in Ring of Honor. Are they
Being
still in
stupid.
Ring of Honor?
Oh yeah, they're always in
Yeah,
Ring of Honor.
definitely. Yeah.
That's without question. Um Let's see. Are they on this show? They are on this show. They're in a. I cannot make this fucking shit up. They're in a six-man tag match of Shane Hagadorn and
Oh, this is the Papa Briscoe
the
match.
Kings of Wrestling with Sarah
Yeah.
Del Rey versus Papa Briscoe and the Briscoes.
Yeah, I saw this recently when I was ripping that Kings of
Pop,
Wrestling DVD.
Papa like the father of the Briscoes.
He has a cage match profile, by the way.
Why?
Um, I don't know. He has a one total
Because he
rating.
wrestled in that match.
Fuck it. They don't
He's
even give CMLL some certain CMLL wrestlers fucking
he has
pages.
He's
wrestled a total of four matches in his life, three of which have been in ROH. This one in 2010, one in 2012, one in 2014, and then most recently in AEW in 2023.
What?
I don't want to make this like Way of the Blade where it turns into Cage Match the
Oh yeah,
podcast.
yeah,
But
yeah,
this
you're right.
2014 one, Moose, Papa Briscoe, and the Briscoes against Adam Cole, Bobby Fish, Jay Diesel, and Jay Lethal. Who the
Oh
fuck is
God.
Jay Diesel?
Jay Diesel.
He's
They just made
also
it up.
the last one here before we go back to the fucking match review. Uh, it's a mixed tag match of Aubrey Edwards, Mark Briscoe, and Papa Briscoe versus Jay Lethal, Jeff Jarrett, and Karen Jarrett. So you have a ref, a father, and then three very good wrestlers, and then one of the wrestlers' wives. In that match. That's insane. Any fucking way. move move back to this fucking podcast review or to this fucking match review.
Hmm.
They do a shit ton of spots. Steen gets busted open like very fucking early. And I mean
It's a
it
nice
is
blade
Yeah, he
job.
bleeds a gusher. He does the duck under the ring
yeah, and he comes
blade
back
job.
up. He comes
It's a
back
good one.
up and he is dripping blood. It is a great blade job. Um he at one point he like does something I don't know if I'd ever seen like before and I don't know if I've ever seen after, which is he starts tearing off the metal like barricade covers
Oh yeah, I was
and like
like, I feel like that could cut the fuck out of him.
yeah and he like throws them all on top of Generico and like does a splash on top of them and I'm like I don't know if I've ever seen somebody remove the barricade covers before. Like, people would get thrown into them all the time. People would dive into them. Like, Roddy has a pretty famous story of like diving into it over Jerry Lynn, and he fucking like whacks his face off of it and like bleeds crazy style. Um, like those things were sketchy because they're pieces of sheet metal with the ROH logo printed on it. Um, but yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'd ever seen that. I realized too there's so much fucking foreshadowing. Like I just kept writing like foreshadowing or like can't believe this happened here type shit. Like the first time I wrote it was Steen does the pop like the power bomb onto the ring apron, which he not only would he do that again to Sami Zayn on NXT, and like use that for like ever and ever, but like now it's just like a normal part of his arsenal. Like like when he pulls that out, he's like wanting to hurt a motherfucker. Um, he uh he does like so he later what he hits like the pop up power bomb, which was his finisher for the little bit.
He's got
Uh,
nice power bombs.
he hits the senton into the corner, and this is where I went. He really didn't change his moveset for WWE. Like everybody's like, oh, they took away the Steenizer, they took away the package pile driver. Like really, like he does all the other shit that he did here, like in WWE. Just he doesn't do the pile driver and the Steenizer, which first of all, Steenizer sketchy as hell. I'm surprised more people haven't gotten fucked up off of it. And package pile driver, I can understand it because they don't want anybody doing any pile drivers except for like Undertaker. So like, I get it, even though they've let him start doing it now. Um,
They're just doing anything in WWE now. Fuck it.
later in the match, he hits a code breaker with the chair, and
That to me, that's one of the things that rings kind of one of the false notes in this match. To
why?
where like I don't the Kevin Steen heat segment is bad to begin with. I don't know, like I don't think it sells like so. The clip you were talking about that has Fonzie in it is Buzz Sawyer and Junkyard Dog in a match full of hatred, and they're biting and choking and punching, and here they're doing code breakers with chairs.
Yeah, I get you. I feel you. Um, oh,
Is that
And
one of the
and
things
Kevin
that
Steen is doing monologue pro.
I do want to
Kevin
point
Steen
out.
is gross as fuck in this match. Not to cut anyone off, it was gross when he's snotting and he's spitting and he's clicking his hands. I don't like it. He's touching his penis and balls. I don't like it,
Oh yeah, you've rubbed the mask all over his
I do.
bro. Yeah,
I, yeah, he like shoves it in his pants and then like pulls it out later and like as like a peace offering. Like, dude, that was in your drawers. Like, why would I want
I
that back?
he
I'll
it
just
makes
get a
one
new
of
mask.
the mask in the drawers makes one of the spots not cool because it looks like he's got a fat fucking maxi pad hanging out of his shorts like a gross person.
I do want to point out at one point, like I think maybe the coolest spot of this match is Steen grabs a barricade and like goes to launch it at him and like it hits the barricade El Generico was leaned up against. The only reason I think that is cool because like that legitimately could kill somebody. Like that's a whole ass steel barricade
That's
just
sheet
going.
metal, bro. That's
If
scary.
Tenryu did it, it would have killed him. Tenryu has the aimbot, bro. When he throws
Dude,
tables and chairs,
my
he's taking
first
people out.
my first thought when I saw it, like when rewatching it, was like, damn, what happens if he like throws that a little too high and like it just takes out
Well, then it kills one of the most annoying people in the world, so it's
it
fine.
just takes out the whole front
One less
row,
person chanting "This is awesome" or not
dude.
biting on the near falls.
Yeah, but like nothing else is the same. Like so much goes differently if he takes out the whole front row and kills somebody.
Yeah.
That's a crazy like fucking can't change the future fucking
They
uh what's that called? Where if you change the future, you like fuck up or
The
change the past.
butterfly effect.
Yeah, I don't know. I just watched Back to the Future like two
I
weeks ago.
thought that was just what happens in time travel. I didn't know there was a name for it.
Oh, the spot where he rips Generico's mask open, and he like he grabs it by the top and Generico's holding it. I wrote good lucha technique here.
And Kevin Kelly says, "You can see an eyebrow."
Yeah, bro,
Awesome, Kevin.
nice.
Dude,
Thank you.
they are uh they are fucking terrible this match, man. Um,
We haven't even gotten to the cluster finish.
dude, what? There's so much to get. That's the thing is like
Yeah, it's a lot.
there's a ton of like if you're a spot monkey guy like I am,
Yeah, these are two good wrestlers.
these are two really
These
good
are two good
wrestlers.
wrestlers.
They do some really crazy shit. At one point, they take that same ladder that they've been using all match, and like bridge it, and then they put a table on top of the ladder, which the fans, which like, so Generico dives through like the middle of the two to hit his like diving swing DDT that he does, which is cool.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
And like, but he like kind of clips it with his feet on his way through, and so like it starts to fall, and so then the fans fucking set it back up, like the fans fucking fix it. Um,
We just fixed it.
yeah, and then they fucking and then like they don't even do a cool like a really like a cool move through the fucking table. Like he just like fucking throws him off the top rope. It's like, man, if you're gonna go through all the process of setting up something that elaborate, at least like kill him on it. You know what I mean? Like at least do something
Yes,
fucking
I've written that in some yard reviews.
like do some batshit crazy shit. Like I hate to reference another 2025 WWE match, but like the Cody match that Owens has, like he gets fucking Alabama slammed through a ladder bridge. Like that's a crazy ass fucking bump to take. Way more crazy than a fucking like you jump through it, type shit. Like I wouldn't want
Well,
to take it. I wouldn't want to take an Alabama slam on a mat, let alone through a fucking bridge ladder. Um, they there's one point where Steen, like I guess this kind of goes back to what you were saying, Dom, about the disgusting bullshit. He like gets
He's
a
nasty. I don't like it.
he gets a bunch of the blood, like, so Generico gets busted open, whatever, and like he gets the blood from Generico's face and then like chops his back, and it just leaves like a bloody handprint on
That was
it.
a loud shot. That was cool.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But then it like goes away like immediately as soon as he like rolls. So then I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah,
um,
Sami Zayn, not Sami Zayn,
El
El
Generico.
Generico, whatever the fuck, blah blah blah.
Yeah, same,
He's
same.
very, very, very fucking pale. I mean, he gets hella white people marks, all red.
Oh yeah, for sure. Um, but so like I said, I could talk about they finally like Carino runs in. Where does the finishing sequence start for you, Abby? Because for me, it's like once the
I can't remember the exact sequence. There's so much. It hits a point in this match where I felt like I was watching Gargano Champa with the emoting and the monologuing and
you did say
the
this is reminds me of Why Am I So Violent
well, we
NXT.
get that at the end. But
Um,
yeah, no, who
so
Cabana comes in first, right?
no,
Kevin Steen for some
Carino,
reason like
so
kills the ref and then goes for a pin.
he
I
does
can't.
fucking do like a
that
package pile driver
I
on
yeah.
stopped
Alexa.
taking notes at one point and just
Was like, fuck
So
this. Yeah.
let it
so
wash over me.
okay. So I have it all wrote down. So Generico gets the brain buster on the apron, and then like rolls Steen in, goes to pin him, and like as the ref, which is Todd Sinclair, I'm going to say the names because it's important because we get three fucking refs here. Um, so he fucking
Yeah, this whole finishing sequence is longer than Dom's whole match.
yes, actually.
Oh
Um,
Jesus.
so he gets to two. Here comes Carino, yanks Todd Sinclair out, and or I don't even know if he yanks him out. I think he just pulls his fucking ankle, and like he
Scared him a little bit.
he does now to granted to Steve Carino's like credit, he's a good wrestler, so he hits a fucking mean ass lariat
He
on.
hits a
Yeah,
fucking
he's the
Stan
best
Hansen lariat.
wrestler involved in any of this. Yes.
So he takes fucking Generico's head off. Then he's like slaps Todd fucking Sinclair off his feet, and he goes out, whatever. He gets the steel chair that brings it in. Then here comes Cabana, takes Carino out. Then Cabana hits Steen with the chair, but then Steen kicks out at two. Uh, then then put this is another one of those like little quotation marks for me, which is Steen goes double bird, which is funny because he then has the whole like Steve Austin feud. And I went, damn, does this dude predict his whole career in this match? Uh,
What? He had a Steve Austin feud?
oh, you don't know. Yeah, it was a very pointless one-sided feud basically to just get Steve Austin to do an appearance at a WrestleMania. This is like 2 years ago, I think. Um, it was basically like just a
Fucking-
tool to make like to get Steve there to get the Stone Cold pop, where he basically just like called out Steve Austin, started doing the stunner all the time.
We really silenced him. He's in shock. He did not realize.
I know he's a big Steve Austin guy.
He's a big WCW Steve Austin guy.
Hey, that's real. Stunning Steve is a different type of shark, man.
Different type of cat. You're right.
So anyway, to move past fucking that bullshit. So yeah, so he gets like Todd Sinclair gets knocked out. Steen crushes Generico, package pile driver, no ref, Remsburg, and then like Bryce Remsburg comes out and he counts, but Generico kicks out at 2 because sure whatever he had that extra second while you waited for the ref to come. Steen grabs Bryce, hits him with a package pile driver, and then uh, as you said, Avi, he's monologue. What did you say? Monologue pro?
Monologue Pro. Yeah, that's what it
Yeah,
turned
he
into.
he sets up a chair and he says, "quote, you want to fucking die for real? You got your wish."
Oh
And he
yeah.
he picks up Generico, hits the package pile driver on the chair. Now Paul Turner is here to be the ref. He gets in, starts counting. Generico kicks out at 2. This is where I wrote down the 3092 days comment. um,
That's how
Olay
long this match
chants,
lasted. Yes.
Olay chants. Steen gets Generico to the quarter, and Steen is gonna go for the top rope brainbuster, but Generico flips over, hits the Yakuza kick, top rope brainbuster, but Steen hits the top rope and rolls out, so that way he can't just roll into the pin. And then Generico gets him back in the ring, shoulder up at 2. The crowd starts chanting one more time for the top rope brainbuster, which honestly would make sense. That's your fucking finish. Why wouldn't you just go for your finish again? And this time, make sure he lands in the ring. Um, but no, we gotta have the melodramatic ending here.
Of course.
Well, yeah, the whole thing was melodrama. From the beginning of the feud, it was melodrama.
So Generico grabs the chair which by the way is like the same chair they've been using this whole feud. It has like blood stained on it, which I'm honestly more or less just surprised they were able to fucking keep something for a year and not lose it. So I guess shouts out to 2010 ROH for that. Um, and so he grabs the chair and he's getting ready to swing, but then Kev pulls out this fucking mask out of his goddamn underwear and like puts it up like a shield, thinking like it's gonna be a fucking peace offering. And Generico grabs it and he looks at it
Yeah, his dick was all over that and his
And I
balls.
was
and he
daydreaming of Negro Casas kicking La Fiera flush in the face.
and he drops it and I mean, granted, you got it. You credit for where it's due. He swings for the fucking fences,
Oh yeah, they're killing each other.
and
I
he
mean, they do kill
fucking
each other, and they bleed everywhere. That's the cool
he,
part.
he throws this fucking chair into him, knocks him out, gets the 3 count. Kev's gone from ROH for a year, and then has to get reinstated by Jim Cornette when he comes back, which is also funny because the whole reason he left was because Jim Cornette didn't like him. Um, on the backstage side, he's talked about that a bunch. That like him and Cornette did not get along. which does not surprise me. Cornette probably thought monologue pro wrestling.
Yeah,
Like he probably
I guarantee you he was breaking shit and yelling slurs backstage while this was happening.
This fucking
probably
sucks.
my boys back in Smoky Mountain could have done this with fucking 50 less spots and got the same amount of heat.
Right.
Um,
Probably.
If they got any heat, they would have gotten the same amount of heat.
yeah, that's true. But it's definitely a match. I think that is worthy to talk about. Listen. It is a match I will probably forever love. It may not be the best. It may not be uh good in 10 more years from now. We're 15 years removed from it, and I mean, it definitely has its issues for sure. And it's like we said, the feud itself has significantly more issues. Um, but yeah, it's just one of those I think that I'm gonna love forever. Uh, is there anything else you guys want to say about this fucking match?
All caught up.
Are you still daydreaming?
I
I'm
am.
thinking about Cerebro Negro Jr. just because he's a cool mask.
That's real. Moving on to the last match. Probably the most excited I was for any of these three matches, even including my own. Um, what is Abi's pick for the week? It is Atsushi Onita versus Masahashi or
Masashi Oyagi.
yeah, Masashi Oyaga or Yagi. Fuck yeah.
Oyagi.
What does WKA stand for?
It's like World Karate Association or something. This is
I
a
guess.
legit uh like karate tournament. It was
Promotion.
actually the it was like a memorial show for the guy who wrote the Tiger Mask manga.
So this
And
is
because
a
he was like a big, martial arts
karate
fan,
guy.
and he had,
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that Oyagi had been like featured in one of his mangas. So Oyagi, he was making a name for himself in the karate world at this point. But this is, as far as I know, the only uh,
So the
work
date on
fight they've done.
the date on this is 7/2/89. Um and the one of the first things I wrote down was goodness gracious great balls of fire.
Yeah, bro.
Because
Fucking Elvis.
That's Jerry Lee
goodness
Lewis.
gracious
God
great
damn it! I'm
balls of
so sorry.
fire.
That's all right.
I
You're
just
not
think of it.
ancient like I am.
Listen, I don't even I don't even still think of it as Jerry Lee Lewis. To me, that is only Goose from Top Gun. Like it's purely like Goose singing it with like his kids sitting up on the fucking on the top of the piano type shit. Um, this is like an interesting match. Avi, you said like the only two people that know it is a work are Onita and
Yes,
Oyagi.
this one requires some context. Onita came up in All Japan. He was a favorite of Baba, but
Right.
he was a junior in All Japan, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and he did a very fateful excursion in Memphis. He's in the concession stand brawl. If you've ever seen that, uh, I may be getting that wrong, but he he had to retire due to injuries, and he was away from wrestling for like 4 years. And he decided that he wanted to return, and his idea was like to be like a to do like different style fights, and sort of
Mm-hmm.
like prove the superiority of pro wrestling, sort of like a indie Inoki. And so his first match back was in Pioneer Senshi, which was actually the first um, indie promotion in Japan, against Ryuma Go, the founder of that promotion. And this was his second one. He was trying to um, convince the second version of the UWF to do this, but they were not interested. So uh he got Oyagi and the karate guys to do it, but essentially it's him like challenging uh karate as like the dominant, form of fighting. It's billed as like an MMA fight, but
Yeah,
I had a
yeah,
and
feeling.
I'm sure a few of the people in the WKA knew, but
it
none of
is
the
it is
people.
wrestled like that though. Like it
Yeah,
is wrestled in a way where like Oyagi is trying like he's trying to do a lot of martial arts like style fighting. So a lot of
He
his
kicks the
offense
shit out of
yeah,
him.
he's a
are a
legit
lot of
like
big kicks. They and like I mean like
he's
you
one
said,
of our
he's
karate fuckers from the war match last week.
Yes, I had a
For sure.
feeling. Very awesome.
he
Yeah,
kicks the shit out of him at the start, at the middle, pretty
yeah.
much all the way fucking through this sucker.
He
He's one
does
of my
not beat
Um
favorite
his
wrestlers
ass.
ever. I think he's the best different style fighter ever.
and like Onita
It's
is
like
trying to
pro
do a
wrestling
lot of
stuff the
like
most.
yeah, Onita's trying to do like a lot of like wrestling stuff. Like he's trying to like shoot the legs, get to the back, do a lot of rest like not rest holds, but a lot of different type of holds, which like every like and he'll get them locked in, but then I'm gonna fuck this name up every time.
Oyagi.
Oyagi.
Oyagi
Oyagi. Hmm.
is like just able to basically sprawl and get to the ropes and get a rope break. And that is kind of like how this match unfolds and builds.
It's a striker
Um,
versus grappler match, first and foremost. You know what I mean?
With Oyagi consistently having the upper
The
hand
upper
and
hand. Hmm.
Onita getting progressively dirtier,
Hmm.
one
uh, to and the crowd getting more and more enraged,
one
Yes.
thing I want to
including
ask.
all the karatekas
Oh,
surrounding the ring who like are like breaking into shoot fights and like
That's
trying
just
to
it's getting
kill
real. They
Onita.
want to kill him.
one thing I do want to ask, like, is the version we have clipped?
I think they clipped some stuff between rounds, but I think that's it.
Okay, because I realized like literally at the fucking end that it was in rounds. Whenever it like shows the like winner graphic and it's like
Yeah.
round, like I think it was like round 5, and I go, oh, this was a fucking rounds deal. I didn't even fucking like that didn't even register in my head when I like started it. Um, but yeah, like you said, it kind of progresses in that way where like so they have like a handshake, but like they're both like trying to like big dick each other on the handshake. Like they're just like, oh yeah, like no no, I'm better than you. Like
Yeah,
it
and
kind of
and,
comes
and
off that way.
Onita is very clearly like, at least from the perspective of the people there, like disrespecting karate.
For
He
sure. He's a
he
little
He's
shithead.
does.
yeah,
He
he's so
does throughout
awesome.
the match.
He's so
Um,
charismatic. It's crazy.
dude, like at one point I wrote that I was like, this is like a precursor to what we know as MMA today. Like, you could turn on maybe not, I don't know how much anymore, but like, if you were watching like a mid 2000s UFC show, like you could see a very similar fight or
Well,
like
that's what it was early on. It was like real life Deadliest Warrior. It- you know.
yeah, or like any of the Gracies versus like one of the random boxers they would
Yeah.
throw them against or some shit like that.
And it was better. I love that stuff. I loved renting
Yeah,
those tapes.
I love watching that
Watching Joe
stuff.
Son get punched in the dick 47 times.
Watching
That
Kevin
was pretty
Randleman
awesome.
throw people around.
Yeah.
Yeah, way much better times. Um,
Good time.
but yeah, like and I mean Onita like so Onita takes some kicks that like will take him down. Um, or like and like then he'll like get to like he'll shoot on him and get him to his stomach, and like I said he'll put him in that, but then like he'll get the rope break and like he does not want to break, so he'll start like punching him, elbowing him, doing whatever, just like basically torturing Ayagi like on the mat before like the ref will eventually have to like separate them. And that just like that progresses like it just kind of keeps folding over on itself until like eventually you get to the end where like they like they're almost jumping each other. One of the points, so Ayagi gets a kick that like a big kick that takes Onita out of the ring. This is after what is the point where oh he so Onita like hits an elbow and then like boots him like does was probably just really pro wrestling shit and like this is the point where like all the karate guys want to like get up onto the like the
You see
apron and
some
are like
live
what
shots thrown in there. It's awesome.
dude they're wanting to fight like they're wanting to fight Onita like they're like "Hey, you want to do this to fucking to Oyagi like we're gonna do this to you motherfucker
The balls
like
on
this is
Onita are
oh
massive.
yes they are
Onita is probably one of the best personalities and characters of any of ever wrestling ever. I mean, I love the story. Not to say I love the story, but it's a funny headline that he went like hiking and then he fell down a mountain and his ear almost fucking was ripped off. I mean, what the fuck is up with him? That's hilarious.
dude or that video of him visiting Terry Funk's grave from not that long ago
Oh,
where
that was
it's just
beautiful.
yeah but it's just like very it's like very well recorded even though it's clearly on an iPhone but it's like shot a specific way and like
Oh, he has
like
vision. He's a character.
yeah
Oh, he has
it's
vision. He
it's
invented deathmatch wrestling.
It's. I
but
mean, yeah, that's great.
it's just all done in such a specific like in character way even though like
Campy way.
granted granted it's very nice that he's like visiting Terry Funk's grave but like just the
Funk would love the carny
oh
nature of
yeah
it.
Funk would love that Dory was probably going crazy
Yeah.
um yeah like so he gets a kick that like knocks him out of the ring and at this point like Ayagi's corner is just like they're like celebrating like they're more happy like happier than the whole fucking crowd there. They are like so excited. And like Onita like gets back in and like Oyagi like starts throwing bombs at him and stuff and he like gets knocked into the ropes and like at this point, like, the ref is like, checking on him, seeing if he can fight before he starts the 10 count. That doesn't matter to the corner. The corner starts counting, and they like get to 10. They're like, 10! He's out, he's out, he's out! And then, like, ref is just like, can you fight? Like, didn't even give him a chance to count him. Like, I have the ref actually count. Um, what? Onita gets a headlock takeover at one point
Oh hell
which
yeah.
really kind of lends itself towards that statement you were saying of like this is a pro wrestling versus match where like him doing something as simple as like a headlock takeover to like be like no look at me I'm better than you I can do different things like this.
Yeah, it's the New Japan different style fight, right? Where you got to prove the superiority of pro wrestling to these other. And Oyagi did a bunch of those in New Japan later, and he's the goat of those things. So
Anita, awesome.
he's so
Yeah,
good, man.
so Onita like they get some real like some stiff strikes back and forth but he kicks him out. um Oyagi gets in, gets on top, and like starts kicking the shit out of Onita, and like Onita gets back up at 8, and then he like trips him, and like Oyagi like he gets the ropes, and like Oyagi just immediately gets to the ropes, and so like then Oyagi like basically backs Onita into the corner like with kicks, and then the ref like goes to separate him, and then Onita like jumps over the ref and like starts hitting the shit out of Ayagi. Um, and then he Onita takes, so he basically takes him and like throws him over the top rope, and Onita goes out and just grabs a fucking chair and then hits him and just and then immediately
And
just
then
gets
immediately
like,
everything is thrown to hell. That is the floodgates open and everyone's gonna get fucked up.
yeah.
Because I that made me think. I was like, oh wait, everyone thinks he just did that for real, and I was like, what would you? It's like, what would you do if your boy just in your mind got hit with a steel chair? You'd probably also go over and be like, oh, what the fuck? Fucking kill everyone.
That's what I
That's
mean by the balls of Onita to do this are massive.
bro.
I mean,
Onita has
he has an end goal here because this is where FMW comes from. The
Onita has
rematch of this is the first FMW main. It's actually a better match than this one, but that's what they're setting up here. That's why it's
Okay,
called Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling, because this was his original
so
vision for
like
FMW.
here's my question, right? So he hits him with the chair and like gets fucking jumped. And so like my head, right, I was like, "Oh, this is the end of the match." But then I tap the screen, and I see that like, "Oh, there's still like 8 more minutes left in this video. Like
yeah.
this is not the finish, right?" And so I like I was like, "Okay, well, keep watching." And so do they, I guess, restart the
Yeah, it gets
match?
restarted, kind of like
And
my first match from our first episode.
yeah, so they restart the match, and like he uh he throws like they immediately like get back into it, and he headbutts him and like takes him down, and Ayagi gets up, and dude, this like we were talking about that
Unreal blood.
steam we were talking about that steam blade job. This is
Unreal blood.
such a like
Oh yeah,
so
he's putting
much,
puddles on the mat. His gi is like
dude.
soaked.
That is like the like I said it in the in our like DM chat. I was like, that looks like somebody who doesn't know how to bladed.
Oh
That's
yeah,
Like that
exactly what I was thinking.
yeah, it's his first ever wrestling match. I had always wanted to be a wrestler, but he ended up going
karate,
the
yeah,
karate path first. But
dude. And so like he gets up, Onita swings on the ref and like takes the ref out, which then like now the crowd like storms the ring. Ayagi is the winner by DQ, and I wrote the last sentence I wrote in this notes I took was, Aubie, what the fuck is this devil ass match? Because like,
business, baby, it's it's how you launch a promotion.
dude, this is fucking insane.
And the
Like,
early years of FMW are like this was the original vision, right? Is these different style fights, and so you have a lot of that on the cards, and then pretty quickly he pivots to, he takes those lessons learned in Memphis and brings it to
starts doing gimmick
Japan,
matches, which
and I do want to say, if you've not watched this stuff and you're like averse to deathmatch, the early FMW, the original deathmatch stuff is a lot different. It's
I
a
was gonna
lot of
say it's
implied violence, a lot of like peril, as opposed to just light tube, light tube, light tube. It's
yeah, it's less like actual stabby and more like just, oh look, he's like, like the exploding ring is kind of like the perfect antithesis of that thought process, where it's a lot of like, oh, don't get thrown in, oh, like it's
yeah,
a lot of stuff like that, where and then like they get thrown in, and like lean back into like the barbed wire, and then like this big pyro goes off behind them, and it's
and it's
like,
awesome, and it's all built around Onita being like the most charismatic.
Being the best
yeah,
awesome, world
Yeah,
best awesome.
yeah, I
craziest
love
man
Onita,
ever.
and he's unreal here too.
Oh,
He's
all
so
timer
amazing
here.
in this.
He's a good asshole. It's very good.
This is I've like of all the themes we've done, of all the episodes we've done, I think this one has made me the happiest after watching all three matches because like I'm like, damn, we got three stormers, three like kind of crazy ass matches where there's a ton of spots that we can talk about. I love getting to shit on something I love, which is 2010s indies.
That's completely
Um,
fair.
and
Nostalgia is
also
rose tinted.
and like that's another thing too, right? Like I would have never like your guys' matches, I guess. I would have never like seeked out on my own. You know, like I obviously I've seen some Negro Casas matches, but a lot of what I've seen is a lot of the Santito stuff, and so I'd be more drawn to seeing stuff with Santito or or guys that I know, not like Lafayette, who I don't know much about. Um,
He's a guy worth digging into, though.
Yes, for
Really,
eh,
sure.
especially the babyface match,
Uh,
uh, the Jerry Estrada match. He's got a great El Dandy match too, of
he
course.
had he had
The
a
goats.
very famous match against he. I think he had the first Mitsuharu Misawa Tiger Mask 2 match,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I forgot
yeah,
about that.
yeah,
He
yeah. I
also
think that's
is
listed in his Lucha wiki.
he's credited with the Frog Splash, right? He invented that.
Um,
I
is
swear to
he?
God,
I
I
don't
read
know.
that.
Could be.
Signature moves. I mean, it does say signature
Let's go with
moves:
yes.
plancha suicida, super kick, enziguri, and frog splash.
I'm never a liar.
So, what if we click on frog splash? Um, yeah, it
I don't
doesn't.
know.
Okay, cool. Thanks,
Lucha
Lucha
Wiki,
Wiki.
yeah, Lucha Wiki chooses when to work, and also it hasn't been updated since 2005.
It's well, like it literally says a normal splash, but with an elbow to knees body crunch before spreading for impact.
Well,
Gain
Wikipedia
popularity
says
for
Lafayette did it.
I
Gained
had a feeling.
popularity from Love Machine. Eddie Guerrero carried the move on after Machine's death. I love that it says Machines. Like you can't call them Art Bar. Uh,
Fart bar.
and many and have picked up the move after Guerrero's death. Rob Van Dam uses it and calls it the Why does Rob Van Dam get the shout out here of all the people who have done a frog splash? It's it's Love Machine, Eddie Guerrero, and Rob Van Dam. That's kind of crazy, Lucha Wiki.
Fucking
Um,
Rob Bland, I am.
dude, but yeah, like I would have never looked for that match. Even in all of the like random old lucha I've been watching, but a lot of that stuff has been a lot like I'm drawn to a lot of the early 2000s stuff, a lot of the Perel Guayo Jr., a lot of the Dr. Wagner Jr. Um,
The juniors are always cool, usually.
yeah, the stuff with like obviously some Mystico in there, some Santito stuff. You get a lot of Atlantis stuff. So a good amount of that stuff that's in that early 2000s range is what I kind of gravitate towards. And so like I probably wouldn't have looked for this on my own, and getting to watch it was a fucking treat. The Onita
Yeah,
match,
that Negro
like
Casas Lafayette match is one of the best matches of the '90s, which is like really
Oh,
saying
saying
something.
yeah,
saying
there's
a
a lot
lot.
of fucking good
Yeah.
matches in the 90s.
Yeah, like I remember when I was like looking through those yearbook tapes you have, I was like looking at it and you were like we are talking about 1993 specifically and you were like, yeah, that's like the best year for wrestling like ever.
It
Like
very well may be.
it is like fantastic. And so like you said, it may be one of the best matches of the 90s. It's everything is technically sound, it looks good, it's snug, it's a really fun match to watch. The Onita match is batshit fucking
Yeah, it's
insane,
bonkers, right? That's a 5 star for me. Just the palpable emotion and tension. That's what it's all about, man. It doesn't get any
dude.
better than that.
It is really beautiful. Genuinely, it is. Maybe I I'm not really the kind to give stuff star ratings, but it
I don't
is
really, but
for
yeah.
no, I know, but I'm saying like it's for me personally, it is up there. It is very good. Um, I also thought it was very funny that there's only one person who's ever reviewed it on Cage Match, and it is Jom.
Shout out
Shout
Um,
out.
and of course he gave it a fucking
my
10.
lovely friend John.
He's got good
Yeah, you're.
taste.
John's awesome.
Um, what a banger match. What a banger week. Uh, it's really an all timer. Moving on. I asked Dom if he had any monkey points. He said, "quote Schnope."
Snoop.
That's that's exactly what he typed, and so that's exactly what I wrote in our format for the week. And I do want to say, last week, Avi was able to find Dom's monkey point from last week. I don't know if you shared that with him or if he actually watched it.
I have not watched
Um,
it yet. I can't lie, but I'm happy he did that. I'm happy.
I did appreciate that. That was pretty cool. I like I said, if we can get to a point where we have 3 monkey points that have been found, I think we have to do. I think we're like legally required
To
to
do a
do a
monkey
monkey
point
point
episode,
episode.
perhaps,
Yeah.
perhaps. I agree.
And so moving on from that, we have the cage match game. It is Avi's pick once again, first time back through. Avi, I assume you've picked a wrestler.
I have. It's
Um,
Ron Garvin.
it
Mm-hmm.
is not Ron Garvin.
No, I'm pretty. It
Um,
might be Ron Garvin.
dude, I'm telling you, one of these days, one of us is gonna gaslight the other until like we're not guessing Ron Garvin anymore, and then that's the day we're gonna pick Ron Garvin.
Yeah, you're very right.
Uh, yeah, format for the game. Get 4 total guesses. First guess is the overall rating, and then 3 reviews. 4 points for the overall, 3 points for the first review, 2 points for the second, and 1 point for the last review. If we don't get it at all, then the person who picks the wrestler in this week, it will be Abby, will get 1 point. Abby, what is the overall cage match rating for this wrestler?
Overall cage match rating for this wrestler is 7.08.
Okay. So he may not be a shitter. This it like see now with like the Necro Butcher thing from the first week we did this, I am like always on uh always on the lookout for like how middle of the ground because are they like they've rated been rated 10 and 0 so much that they're like a 6,
Mm-hmm.
or are they like just like a fairly good wrestler where they're getting a lot of 6, 7, 8s, and that is what's creating this average. um I'm just going to take a shot in the dark here and say Buzz Sawyer.
It is not Buzz Sawyer, but Buzz Sawyer is fucking awesome.
Buzz Sawyer is cool. 7.08. Dynamite Kansai.
It is not
All right,
Dynamite Kansai.
that was a little out there, but I just want to throw it out there. Fuck it.
All right, go ahead and give us the first review, Abby.
Okay, first review is a 6.0. Not really too surprised about his high rating. He was fantastic out of the ring and fine in the ring until he wasn't. Watching his attempts at wrestling in the late 90s and onwards is just frustrating, and while I understand that his character was supposed to not give a damn, it really gets old after a while.
Hmm.
Dom, I'll let you guess first.
Um, I don't know why the first thought I had was Rob Van Dam.
Not Rob Van Dam. That's a good guess, though.
Fuck.
Is it Ric Flair?
It is not Ric Flair. Ric Flair's got to be
God.
higher than a 7.08. If he's not above a 9, we need to shut the thing down.
Yeah, but I don't know. I was like really taking the context in of that review of like
Yeah.
not that great from the late '90s onwards.
Yeah, that was fucking. I don't know. I don't know.
All
It's
right,
fucking me up.
give us the second review, Abby.
All right. Second review. He looked like an absolute star and had plenty of charisma to go with it as well as being a good promo. Never the greatest worker, but when you're that size, you don't need to be, and he worked smart enough to get by and bring himself a lot of success.
Oh, okay. That size worked good until the late 90s. 7. I'm trying to like really
Charismatic.
I'm really trying to like hone in on the fucking context clues here because my goose egg is fucking hurting.
I got a bit of a crazy guess off the wall.
Go for it.
Um, what's his name? Earthquake? John Tenta?
Oh, it's not Earthquake.
Fuck.
Oh. Oh my
Another
god.
great wrestler though.
Um Charismatic
Big,
size.
charismatic, successful. Character doesn't give a damn.
Is it Vader?
It's not Vader. He's got to be above
Fuck.
9 too, or at least an 8.
Yeah. All right, give us the last review.
Charismatic and entertaining when not wrestling. In the ring, he was all presence, no moves, which is kind of an issue for appreciation of a wrestler. He's got a handful or two of good matches, only with his friends and or goats, and a bunch of acceptable matches, but many more terrible high-profile ones. His career is less than satisfactory, and I can't even imagine how a blank match could be great, and his contributions to the industry were overall negative.
Okay,
Oh.
I actually might know this. Is this is this Kevin Nash?
Kevin Nash.
Yep. Okay.
Oh my god. Dom gets it with the buzzer beater.
Because I mean, these
Atlas.
were all things I was low key starting to think of Kevin Nash myself. Like he's cool. Yeah, he has shitty matches. Well, stinkers.
So Dom gets 1 point, which will put him back in the lead at 4.
I do want to
So this
defend Kevin Nash though and say there's some real good Diesel matches.
Oh,
dude,
that's what I was implying. That he had
Yeah,
good Diesel matches. I almost
I mean,
fucked
I
this
guess
up and went Scott Hall because I
I
was thinking
guess
tall and big.
dude, if you would have said Scott Hall, I would have had to take Kevin Nash.
Right? Yeah. Someone would have gotten it.
Yeah, the dude, that's I, I suck at this game, guys. I
it's
blow.
tough, man.
Uh, so the score now: Dom with 4 points, Obby with 3 points, and me with fucking 0 still. Um, we're
Poor
sucking it up
guy.
over here. It's okay. It's okay. We will continue to move on and live with my goose egg. Uh, with the sanctity in knowing that I pick next week. So maybe I need to just like dig real deep in the bag,
Yeah, you got to
try
come
and
up with a puzzler, man.
dude, I have to. I can't like, I can't do I feel like Rhino might have been too easy, man. I
Yeah,
gotta
Brady's gonna
like
spend more time looking for his wrestler than his match.
dude.
That's gonna be a
That's I
fucking
mean that's saying
goddamn.
something. I don't spend a lot of time usually looking for the match. Usually it's like okay, like if we come up with a theme, it's like, all right, I think about it for like an hour or two, and like, what do I think fits the most, or like I said, I have my notes app if I feel like it's, if we're just doing a potpourri match or a potpourri match,
Potpourri.
uh, yeah, potpourri.
However the
if
fuck
we're
you say it.
if we're just doing one of those, then like I have my notes app, so I can take, I can sit on Cage Match a bunch at work and just scroll through wrestler ratings and just be like, all right, who's a fucking shitter? Read some reviews. All right, this one might be good. At least give me that one stumper point, At least
Mhm.
give me off a 0. Got to get something going.
For the morale.
Yeah, exactly. Uh, one last thing, we'll give out the dude of the week. This week we are giving it out to one Big Van Tetra or Mari or Mio Momono. Yeah, you have like 15 different fucking usernames. Um,
But you were a cool dude of the week.
you are the dude of the week. You are very cool. You shouted out our podcast on Twitter, which we appreciate a lot. And also are just a great person to have around, great person to talk wrestling with, great
Yes, we
person to
love
give
Tetra.
shit to.
Mhm.
Always willing to take the shit that we throw at you
And let us
Well,
know
because
it's
you
bad.
have to talk shit to teenagers. Sorry,
Mhm.
Dom.
No, I got it. I got it.
um other than that, uh, we uh, we have a like I said last week, we have a Twitter. So it is file under fire underscore, right?
Yes.
And then we also have a blue sky now, um, which I gotta set that up. But it is an account that you can follow. It is I think I made it. It's either file under fire underscore to match or file under fire pod. I don't remember which one I set it up to be. That's on me. I made that, you know. But if you look it up, it's the same logo. You should be able to find it. Um, so yeah, follow us on both of those. Obviously, follow us on all of our personal Twitters, or Blue Skies or whatever you use. I don't know if Albie has a Blue Sky.
I
I
Um,
would
do, but
seriously doubt it.
I
I
don't
don't
even
you,
know.
remember the password, man. I haven't been
hey,
on there in so long.
that's real. I kind of use it the same way. I forget that it's an app that I can open. Um,
It's
my
probably obliterati.
yeah, probably.
I do not
Um,
have one.
subscribe, like, comment, all that extra stuff. It does actually help, even if it's just like you saying random nonsense in our comments on YouTube or whatever. I do think it helps towards the algorithm, which we're fighting for what we can here. We want to get this podcast out to as many people because I think more people should listen to us bullshit about 3 wrestling matches a week because it's fucking fantastic. Um,
Read
if
yard subject to change.
Yeah,
That's
if
true.
Read Yard subject to
Up and
change.
running.
The first match went out yesterday. There's another one coming out tomorrow, which will be the day that this is posted. Um, you guys are documenting what you consider as the best 100, right? Is
That's
that what
right,
you're
yeah.
doing? Top
And
100,
and I think we're
and
gonna do some more with that coming up soon.
yeah, we
I hope
gotta
on
get
the
that
pod here.
get that sorted out. Definitely want to do an episode dedicated to yard subject to change because it is a really cool idea for a blog and a really cool execution having multiple guys all kind of giving their thoughts about it and
Hmm.
all kind of looking at it through a different lens.
I agree.
Even if Aubie is the polar bear in Arlington, Texas, as you said last week. Um, really a fun read to go through each one of your guys' reviews. Um, Other than that, R.I.P. Space Ghost.
True.
Um, go watch Space Ghost Coast to Coast. There's a link if you can find it. I might even repost it on Twitter. Of a mega like a mega.nz folder with like every single episode of Space Ghost Coast to Coast in it, and I was watching that earlier. Fucking dude, an amazing show, and they're all like it was a 15-minute show, and the commercials cut out here, so they're all 11 minutes long. You can't even argue about sitting down and watching it for 10 20 minutes. Great show, R.I.P. Um, and yeah, thank you for listening to us ramble. Thank you for listening to us shit down one of my favorite matches' throats.
Sorry,
Uh,
Brady.
It's all right. I knew as soon as I saw you clipping that drop mic video, I was like, oh baby,
Oh
we're
man,
in
we're
for
getting a
a
different
good
side
one.
of. Mm-hmm. Different side
Uh-huh.
of.
I've been excited about it all week. Um, I appreciate it. If for some reason the guys make it this far, thanks Club Lucha for making me aficionado of the week. Um, and yeah, thank you guys for listening. We appreciate it, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.